Okay, we are back for part 3 in our series, our finishing. As you might notice by looking at the painting, I have done a few things to it. I wanted to go back and clean in some lines of that orange part that we covered over again. And I also added some little bumpy areas for interest, so it does look just a slightly bit different than the end of video 2. And as you'll notice, my palette, I went ahead and put all the colors back in, the colors I used yesterday, just in case the mood struck me or if we wanted to make any changes. So that's why all the colors are there, okay? You don't have to do that, but I actually kind of like to have that there because when you're doing abstract, it's really different. You don't really have an idea necessarily of how it's going to end up by the time it's over. It's really a work in progress. So keep those things nearby and, be ready to make changes based on your whims. There's a couple more things that I'm adding into this video. The main thing that we're going to be using at this point is this black paint. Wow, I just stuck my finger in that blue paint and got white on the back. I'm a little bit of a messy tessie. All right, so I'm going to turn my palette so I have that black ready to go. And also, I got clean water. I've got my brushes like I usually do. I grabbed this gold Color Decor gold metallic pen. Now, for parents, this does have, a kind of a strong odor. You could also use just a Sharpie, which is a lot less toxic smelling. They have metallic Sharpies. My metallic Sharpies are on their last legs. They do not show up. So I have this, and I thought we might throw in some unexpected little pieces of gold to kind of make this work jump, but we'll see. Maybe, maybe not. The other thing I have is a can of this Krylon clear glaze. This is tempera paint and it will crack over time. So if you make a piece and you're really super happy with it and you did use tempera instead of acrylic, you might want to spray it with a clear gloss. I won't be doing that on the video, but I wanted to show you what I use. Just a quick light spray to give the surface a little bit of sheen and also to protect it from cracking over time. And I did not mention before that when you use tempera paint, it is possible that it, when you apply it too thickly, that it will crack a little bit. So don't be surprised if it starts to crack if you have really thickly applied areas. Don't sweat it. It's cool. It's just part of the media. And the other thing you're going to need for this part of the video is a hairdryer. I just have my hairdryer that I actually use for my hair. It's a Remington. And I'm going to hit the work with that hot dryer to dry the paint. But then there's also a cool tip that you can use after you've finished your piece, and I'll show you that as well. So let's get going. We have to do our black areas, so that's what we're going to do. I'm going to get my round brush, my medium round brush is what I'm using, and make sure my hair is nice and neat. I don't want too much water in it, okay? So make sure you don't have any fuzzies. This one has a few little squiggly hairs that I'm going to get rid of before I begin. That one there is going to be a problem. So if you have a squiggly hair, you can just give it a trim. And now we're ready to go. I'm going to dip into my black paint. No water. I don't want it to be super wet. And I'm going to fill the spot that we had mapped out as being a place where we wanted black. And then we're probably going to add a few more for interest. So you're just going to fill in all the areas now with black that you would like there to be a black element. Some people are a little bit afraid of black, but black is actually really cool because it intensifies the other colors and lets the other colors shine. It creates drama in the work and contrast, which is really good in art. So you can see already it's really changed the look of our piece just by filling that one space in. This work is pretty small. I've done pretty small things just because it's easier with our video format. But you could use this just as well on a really big piece of paper. And the bigger the paper, the less picky you have to be. When you're painting, you can just let it go and do big broad strokes, but I've had to do a little bit smaller format because of the video. Okay, and let's see where else we'd like it. We have we have a white here and white there and white there. We've got a black, so we probably need a black element up here. We could come up here and maybe do some fans from that corner. And I'm going to bring mine around this way to sort of give it a flick. It started out kind of geometric, but I prefer to have like different elements going on. I'm going to turn my work because I'm kind of looking at it from all angles. And I'm thinking that I might want to do something that either goes along this line, or maybe we want to try out doing a black line around this white. So let me just look at this for a minute. Let's do a triangle. Right here. And this is where you get to go over those other paints, so it can be kind of fun. Because you're not necessarily having to fill empty spaces. You can actually put elements on top of other elements. So that's where it gets really fun. So I've got my 3 points of black, and I might do something down here. Maybe just a black rectangle. And I probably will use some polka dots, black polka dots. Okay, I'm going to switch my brush from my round brush to my little tiny small round brush. Okay, and I'm going to outline that white square just to pop it. That looks pretty cool. Okay, and what I might do also is I might come over here and do this little line right here, just to pop this white. And I can make it a little squiggly if I choose. Pretty cool. Okay, so I think I'm going to do maybe one little triangle right in here. I'm going to rinse my brush out, and I'm going to get that little round brush again, but I'm going to have it clean, and I'm going to use the end of it, the other side, to do some black polka dots. And then I think we're just about done with the painting. So I'm thinking maybe I'll put some black polka dots here. And maybe inside our red. Inside of our white. And sort of drawing attention to that intense yellow. Okay. And I think I might actually go ahead and do that line. I was in debate, but I think I'll go ahead and do that line with my thin, tiny round brush. Go ahead and bring this outline over. And you could do a squiggly if you wanted. You're just wiggling your brush back and forth. Like that. Okay. And let's do some black dots inside that white. This is awfully big, so it has sort of a prominent feel. So I'm going to take some black. I'm going to actually do, you know what? I think I might use my bigger brush for that. Let's go crazy, shall we? Let's use the bottom of our medium brown brush and medium round brush. Okay, so we finished our black, and now it's time to complete our painting. My camera shut off in the middle of filming, taking the tape off and all of that. So I put some tape back on there just to show you how we would do that. Okay, you'll notice I don't have paint on mine. That's the reason why. Now, we're going to use this hair dryer. It is going to be loud. I use this to dry my work because I don't want there to be wet spots when I'm pulling the tape off. Bad things can happen. So you can let it dry just by letting it sit there, or you can use the blow dryer to help you finish. Okay, so before I did that though, if you want to, now's a good time to use your Krylon clear glaze and just spray it with a nice even coat of that and let it dry. Okay, but I'm going to show you demonstrate how you would take the tape off. This is great for taking the tape off. Sometimes when you use painter's tape, even though it's removable, on paper it will pull your paper up, especially if you work on it for a couple of days. So one cool tip that I'd like to share with you is just use your regular hair dryer. If you have an embossing hair dryer or a heat gun, that will work, but you really don't need the heat to be that intense. So a regular hair dryer from home works great. You're going to focus it on the tape, and then that's going to loosen that adhesive and help pull up a nice crisp edge. Let me show you. All right, we've hit the corners of our tape, and now we are going to pull up the tape, okay? So you're just going to peel, and it's going to reveal our beautiful, beautiful, beautiful artwork that we made. So I'm holding the paper down. I'm kind of pulling it away at an angle carefully. Oops, I should have pulled this one up first. And I'm actually going to reuse my tape. If you've got paint all over your tape, you can just toss it. But if it's still good, you could use it for something else. Whenever you can recycle, it's a good thing. Okay. So my tape's pretty good shape because I just put it on there for you. So I'm setting it aside to use it for another piece. And as you can see, there, it's stuck. Okay, so that's what will happen to your paper if you don't heat it up before you pull it off, or if you're not careful. Okay. All right, so that is our finished piece. I hope that you have enjoyed watching this video and that you'll join me again for something else. Don't be afraid of abstract painting. Bye, guys.